Welcome to a special edition of the Stadium Journey podcast. We like to call these special editions overtime podcasts. The Stadium Journey is more than just a great podcast, it's a lifestyle. Our website, stadiumjourney.com, contains over 2,500 stadium reviews, news items, and great features perfect for the traveling sports fan. And in addition to the website, we are all over social media. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube also. We're everywhere. The Stadium Journey podcast is the perfect companion when you're on a road trip. Just type in VOC Nation Radio Network into your podcast search app or search for us on Spotify. We're there too. And in addition, all of our old video podcasts are on the Stadium Journey YouTube channel. Perfect for binge watching. And if you got nothing to do on a Tuesday night, the regular podcast streams live on twitch.tv/danlaw83. So let's take a second before we begin and introduce our starting lineup, old school style. Dave, where can our listeners follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter @ProFan9.
Mark, how about yourself? Where can our listeners follow you online?
Ballpark Hunter on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I have videos every Monday and every Thursday. Check them out.
And the fact that you put them on your own personal channel, we do not hold that against you. Our producer, Dan Calachico, the above-average comedian, is not with us tonight, but, he's still out there somewhere. You could follow him online at danlaw83. And I am Paul Baker. You could follow me online at PuckmanRI. And tonight, we are pleased to be joined by the general manager of the Burlington Sock Puppets, Anderson Rathbun. Anderson, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you, guys. This is going to be fun. We're gonna have a good time here.
So I want to start off by letting you recap this eventful off season you guys have had down there in Burlington and in the rest of the Appalachian League. Couple of things happened this winter, didn't it?
Yeah, a few things, a few minor details that I'll try not to bore you guys with. But yeah, so my journey here with the club started in February when I was in the booth of an Olive Garden with Ryan Kerr, who was the then president of the Daytona Tortugas, and he asked me, "Hey, if I acquired the Burlington Royals, would you want to go up there and be the GM?" And I interned here in 2015 previously. So I know the area a little bit and I enjoyed my time here. So I said, sure, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Just tell me when. And he acquired the team at the end of February. I moved up here at March 1st, and 2 weeks later we were in a global shutdown, and I had nothing to do. So this past season has been eventful for sure. But yeah, we're excited to get rocking and rolling. The good thing, I guess, if there is one thing that came out of COVID is we were able to rebrand. We were going to rebrand regardless of what league we joined. And for those who you guys don't know, the Appalachian League is now the Appalachian League powered by USA Baseball and Major League Baseball. We are a collegiate summer league wood bat series that's going to feature the top 300 freshmen and sophomores in college baseball. So we're extremely excited to be a part of this league. Extremely fortunate for Major League Baseball and USA Baseball's commitment to us and to our communities, first and foremost. And yeah, they gave us a chance to rebrand, and regardless of what league we're going to be, we wanted to take on our own identity. So I guess I'll just throw this out there like it's no big deal. We rebranded ourselves as a typical name, the Burlington Sock Puppets.
Yeah, that's absolutely a case of turning a negative into a positive, because the Appalachian League is, or am I saying it wrong? I said Appalachian. You were saying Appalachian.
So it is technically it's the Appalachian League. And I'm going to be honest, when I first got into this league, I didn't know how to pronounce it. And within 2 minutes, the entire league and the league president very well corrected me. It is Appalachian.
Well, I'm a damn Yankee. So yeah, sorry. So
yeah, that's right.
Corrected as well. So yeah, but the whole league took this negative, perceived negative, because it has a long history of being an affiliated league. And some would say the demotion to summer college was a bump down, but the league took it as a positive and rebranded, which has been, universally acclaimed. All the fun that's been happening over the winter.
Yeah, let alone the fact that all 10 teams were able to rebrand. it's not a step down. I mean, it's funny to me to see. And granted, I work in baseball, so when you hear professional to collegiate, there's just a natural inherent, okay, it's lesser of a league. But if you break down and think to yourself, like, all right, baseball, what is baseball? What is a rookie league? Who are the players that, a rookie league consists of compared to who are we going to be getting? We're going to be getting pretty much the same, if not older players. I mean, a rookie league, we're getting the international signees who are their first first professional season, or we're getting the high school draftees in the rookie league. Now we're getting freshman and sophomore college kids that are a year or two older than what they were prior to the rookie level. So it's interesting and it's fun to see the reaction. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind the competition is going to be, if not as good, better than what we had in years past with the Royals.
Yeah, as someone who has watched many a summer collegiate league game, living right out here, right next to Cape Cod, where I live, I'm on the Cape all summer, and that's generally considered as the premier summer college league. I can vouch that the level of baseball in these leagues is absolutely fantastic. You're getting the top players from across the country. Yep. So yeah, I wasn't aware that. Is that how they're going to stratify it? Like, you all are going to get freshmen and sophomores, juniors and seniors are going to go somewhere else?
Yeah, so USA Baseball is in charge of recruiting the top 300, who they rank top 300 freshmen and sophomores. And the roster list is still being formed. We have a pretty solid base of who we have. We have kids from Vanderbilt. Ever heard of that school? UCLA, Oklahoma State, Illinois. Some big time schools are going to be playing in this league this summer, and we're pumped to have that. But yeah, so the freshmen and sophomores and some really, really good incoming freshmen are going to be in this league. And then the rising juniors are going to go to Cape Cod League, and then the rising seniors are going to go to Cape Cod League. And the after your senior year, because now the draft is going to be in August, they're going to what's being called the MLB Draft League. I'm sure you guys have heard of the other Major League Baseball, league that MLB is creating.
Okay, Mark, I'm sorry. I kind of monopolized. You go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, from a fan's perspective, did you have to do a lot of re-education to your season ticket holders, to the media? What has that reaction been so far from them who are used to affiliated ball?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a perception standpoint, when you see Burlington baseball's losing affiliation, they're becoming collegiate rather than professional, there's just this inherent, like, hey, we're not the same as we were. So it was a challenge at first to show people, hey, it's not really even about the level of play. It's about the experience of going to a ballpark. It's about going to a baseball game. It's about experiencing this unique atmosphere when you walk through the gates of Burlington Athletic Stadium. Like, that's what I focus on. I mean, the level of play will take care of itself. The players are going to play. What I care about is making sure when you come to the ballpark, that fan journey when you park your car all the way until you get back in your car to leave is at the top echelon of experience. And so, like, that's what I care about. And that's what we had to educate people on, is if you take out the level of play, Burlington baseball is never going to be better. Burlington baseball is going to have this huge just influx of energy put into it going into this year, that you're not going to recognize the difference between attending a game in 2019 and again attending a game in 2021. So that was our first step in educating. And then second, yeah, like, for the people that do care about the baseball, which there are some, I don't want to say nobody cares about it, letting them know, like, hey, this is Major League Baseball. If you're gonna create a baseball league, Major League Baseball and the team that organizes the Olympic team and the national teams are two pretty good organizations to partner with. So I just want to, we just want to educate the trust and the viability of, like, hey, this is who we're going to be. This is the people that are running our league. It's going to be good, I assure you.
So in the old affiliated days, essentially your roster was sent to you by the big league club, right?
Yep.
Now you had said that USA Baseball is organizing the top 300 players, I think you said. How are those players going to be sent to which teams in your league? Is it going to be like a draft, or is it going to be like localized based on, where they were from, or is it kind of like a free agent-ish kind of thing? How's that player personnel piece going to work?
So it's actually great because the teams are going to be pretty much as even as they possibly can be on paper. USA Baseball is the organization that's specifically operating the league, and they're the ones who are recruiting the players and assigning them to teams. So to the best of their abilities, they will be trying to place players from various colleges, not based on location as much. Obviously, we have a preference on, hey, if we're going to do if a Duke player, UNC player, we want them in Burlington, obviously, but they're going to do their best to make sure that the players are placed evenly throughout the team. So the competition and the level of play across the consistency across the 10 teams should be pretty evenly matched.
So what does that make your job entail now as a general manager of a club in the Appalachian League?
Yeah, so one of the biggest misconceptions of people of minor league baseball, I should say, is the role of the general manager. It's hilarious. I still have friends that think I'm, on phones with Princeton making trades, or I'm going to call Pulaski and say, hey, I want to ship you off my washing machine for this guy, kind of thing, and that's just not the case. General manager position from rookie level, collegiate summer league, even all the way up to AAA baseball. Our job is to ensure it's really a president of or CEO of a baseball or of a business. We're here to make sure that the business is running smoothly, that the fans are enjoying their time here, and that the ballpark is doing what a ballpark should do. And at the end of the day, that's just being a community center.
Just a quick one. So what would your turnover have been in years past? Would it have been like 1 year and those guys are gone, they're either moving up or moving out? Or did you have a couple of guys, like a few guys that would stick around for a second year? How did that work before, compared to now, where it sounds like you're just going to get a whole fresh new crop of players year to year?
Yeah, honestly, and that's another honestly similarity of what we had in the past. Most people would spend 1 year at rookie level, and if you spent 2 years at the rookie level, that wasn't the best sign of, hey, this is how the big club thinks of your development. So it's going to be honestly very, very similar. We're going to have pretty much a new roster every single year. We might get a guy twice, back-to-back years, which would actually be a better thing than what it would mean if we had a guy 2 times, because a guy coming here from their freshman to sophomore year, it doesn't mean that they're not developing the way that they should be. It just means that, hey, they developed more. They're in this league, which is a developmental league, and they're going to be here again. So we're actually excited to have guys here for 2 years. Where in years past, if a guy was here 2 years, is great from a fan perspective, is great for us because we is a familiar face. But it didn't always bode well for the development of that player.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't know. Does any have more questions about the league setup? Or
I think I know where you're going, Mark. And Go for it.
I guess I was really jazzed up when I heard that the league was going to rebrand, and I believe the Sock Puppets were the first team to announce their rebrand. Yep. And the minute I saw that, I was like, wow, they knocked it out of the park. It was awesome. And every other logo that came out the next few months, I compared it to it. And I feel like the Sock Puppets did the best job. I'll give Danville credit too. That's a different story. We'll talk about that later. But
watch yourself. Watch yourself with Danville.
I mean,
I know Twitter rivalry.
I know the Twitter rivalry is fun there, but who came up with this name, or when did you know, hey, we got a winner here? It has to be the Sock Puppets.
Yeah. So you guys want the long story or the short story? How long do you guys want me to talk?
I'm okay with a long story. It's as long as we're not here till 11 o'clock tonight.
All right. So, all right, here we go.
Yeah. Give it to us.
So we pivoted last year in COVID. When the season was canceled, we rented out our ballpark, and myself and my GM, Thomas Vickers, we worked for 22 straight weekends from beginning of June all the way until the beginning of November. Thomas and I were at the ballpark every single weekend running these tournaments. We had no life. Okay. I mean, I have no life anyways, but we had less of a life then. And we started thinking, all right, if the Kansas City Royals wanted us still as a farm team, and they gave us the go ahead to rebrand. So we knew, regardless if we were affiliated, if we were not affiliated, we're going to rebrand. And our owner, Ryan Kerr, Thomas and I were sitting down talking, And we're like, all right, well, what is the history of Alamance County? And textiles is just huge here. If you come to this county, if you come to this area of North Carolina in general, outside of Alamance County, you're going to see nothing but water towers and these buildings that used to be these textile mills. And one of the huge products that were made here were socks. Any types of socks, SOCKS, okay? And we're like, all right, well, we want to honor that. But we wanted to honor the SOCKS. We didn't want to honor SOX. That's not a thing. That's just like some baseball name that the Red Sox, the White Sox, the Aqua Sox all came up with because it looks cool, right? And we want to honor.
Just be careful. Like you're talking, not me, but the other guy. You got a Red Sox fan and a White Sox fan.
No. I know. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want you guys to think I'm in. I don't want you guys to think. Yeah, I don't want you guys to think that I'm in enemy territory here. All right, so it's not that we wanted to be different. We wanted to honor the specific product, that was made here. We wanted to be different, so we knew that we had to go SOCKS. Like, there's not a team that I can think of that is SOCKS. And Ryan, our owner, actually, it came up to us one time and said, "How funny would it be if we were the sock puppets?" And I looked at him dead in the eye. I said, "If we're named the sock puppets, you will need to find yourself a new general manager because I will not be."
Wow. So you were against it.
I was hardcore against it.
Oh, I was thinking that was a eureka moment.
I thought the light bulb went over your head when you saw. Okay.
No, he said, "How funny would it be if this?" It started off as a joke, and I was just like, "No, it's stupid. It's childish." It was everything that a too cool for school, mentality fan thinks about. Like, it's childish, it's very minor leaguey, it's over the top. And as we got to, and then we started role playing it, and in all honesty, so we contracted with Studio Simon, and this was the moment I realized it was going to be sock puppets. We had we had 2 weeks of this nonstop discovery phase of Dan Simon with Studio Simon, me, Thomas, and Ryan meeting with local stakeholders, meeting with community members, and just learning about the history, learning about their experience, whether they were here for their entire life and generations, or whether they just moved here within the last 10 years. And at the end of that entire phase, Dan was closing the call between just us, me, Ryan, and Thomas. And he said, "Look, I usually don't do this. I try to come up with like 9 different names and to show you guys some different options. But there's just this one name that's just really sticking out to me." And I told Dan, I was like, "Dan, before you say it," I looked at Ryan. I was like, "Ryan, I swear if this is going to be what I think it's going to be." And sure enough, Dan Simon goes, "I think it needs to be sock puppets." And I almost hung up the call. I was like, I'm actually going to be the general manager of the sock puppets. So that's how the name actually got momentum. Okay. And over the next 6 months, we just storyboarded this brand. And I was just starting to think about all the aspects of, all right, what is a sock puppet? What does it actually mean? As goofy as it sounds, what does it mean? And it's a no-brainer. I've never been in love with a name and with a brand more than now, because what is a sock puppet? It can be whatever we want. It can be the cool guy with the hat on backwards and the sunglasses, which actually we tried to model off of Ken Griffey Jr.'s new era baseball style. If you guys remember back in the day when he was reprimanded. Yeah, so that's the theme behind the logo. Is we have the new era baseball style, and then we have the stirrup representing the professional baseball style. So we wanted the 2 different dialogues there, and we thought to ourselves, well, what is a sock puppet? What does it look like? And we haven't released it yet, but we're going to be creating this community style sock puppet piece where it's going to be back in the American Revolution. People here on May 16th, 17, I don't remember the name of, 250 years ago. It's the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Alamance on May 16th this year. That is technically the first confrontation in the American Revolution. And it happened here, right, in Alamance, North Carolina. It's the first confrontation in the American Revolution. So we're going to be creating a sock puppet that honors, think Mel Gibson in The Patriot, the 3-style hat, 3-pointed hat, the overcoat. And then we're going to have a sock puppet that honors Company Shops, which was the railroad station that officially brought people to this area that later became known as Burlington. And then we're going to have think Amelia Earhart 1940 style pilot with the leather hat, the goggles, sock puppet that honors the Fairchild Airport, which was a huge industry in the Western Electric, which was a huge industry in the 30s through the 70s. So those 3 characters are going to start our Avenger style sock puppet characters that resemble the history of Alamance County. And no brand can do that. No brand can encompass all these small, minute facets of such a collective history, and I'm just excited from that standpoint. I'm excited from the wackiness and the uniqueness that we can have standpoint. But man, we have a lot of things down the line that I think when we release, people are going to be like, this name's actually pretty freaking cool, because I came around.
Yeah, because I think I had made a list of what the team should be called. Just I picked up on the hosiery concept. I picked Burlington Wool Frogs. I said, "Oh, that sounds like a cool name because that's a term." But when I saw sock puppets, I was like, "They did it. They did it better." So you're right. It's right. I love the two logos. I love what you're just telling me, how you can do some different concepts. I mean, even I've seen on social media the sock puppet talk shows that you guys are doing, and Dave remembers Ed the Sock from Much.
Oh boy, that was
from Much Music.
Yeah, I remember Ed the Sock. Oh boy.
So
Anderson, when we were talking about the show, we were talking about all of us starting off screen and just like having sock puppets.
I would have loved, honestly,
Syphil and Ollie, those other famous sock puppets.
If you guys would have done that, I would have loved nothing. I should have brought mine. So I'm the stirrup guy. Actually, I probably should.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the stirrup guy. The stirrup guy's the stirrup guy, right? Like, that's a sock puppet. It's not me. But yeah, I mean, if you were to tell me 10 years ago, like, hey, you're going to be the general manager of a team and you're going to be creating weekly, monthly sock puppet videos, I would have laughed at your face. But like, that's what it is. And it's fun. Like Thomas, our AGM, him and I just have so much fun just coming up with these scripts and these stupid ways to talk about what we're doing here, but like via a sock puppet. I just think that's so much. I just think that's so fun. Like, we released our mascot, and we're taking name the mascot submissions this week, and we released it with. We were just going to release the mascot, and we thought to ourselves, like, we have to release this with the sock puppets. Like, every release we do has to have the two sock puppets, because like that's our brand. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Now, do they have names yet for these two characters, or not yet?
As you know what is creative. I'd like to think it's creative as our brand is. We don't have, it's Cool Guy and Stirrup Guy. Those are the two names.
Cool Guy and Stirrup Guy.
And that's what we're sticking with. I don't think we'll ever have names for those two.
Wow. Okay.
I think I love the ununiqueness, if that's even a word, the ununiqueness of the names on the fact that it's just like this ridiculous brand. It's Cool Guy and Stirrup Guy. That's it.
I heard when I heard the name, the first thing I thought of was an episode of The Simpsons. When Homer was being all puffy and he says, "I'm not afraid of anything," and Marge yells out, "Sock puppets!" And he goes and freaks out. So I hope you found that clip and are gonna like use it nonstop in the ballpark on the audio and on the screen and whatnot.
Oh yeah. So fun fact for you, our ballpark doesn't have a screen. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully it does. We don't have a jumbo screen. So the connections are all going to be audio. We're going to actually hopefully get a screen here in the future. But yeah, I mean, the amount of suggestions my friends, our fans have sent me is just like Pitch Perfect, I think, is the movie. They have the Sockapellas, and they just like, well, you have to incorporate this. And it's so funny to see this like stupid childish toy that nobody ever thought about actually coming to life and people getting behind. Like, it's so much fun to see everybody just sending submissions or suggestions saying, you guys need to incorporate this or this or this. So we're just having fun with it.
And without a screen, you really gotta. Sorry,
so it wouldn't have worked if you would have called them the Bulldogs, right? Go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, people. My favorite comment that I saw when we released the name is, who's gonna be scared of a sock puppet? No player's gonna want to wear a sock puppet jersey. And I don't want anybody scared of our name. I want people knowing when they come to our ballpark, they're gonna have a ridiculous baseball experience. They're never gonna have. I wish I could tell you guys some stuff that we have planned for the season, but it's just
tell us.
Yet. I can't break it. I can't break it yet. I can't
break out Stirrup Guy.
I can't break it. It's like breaking news. No,
let them tell us.
We're gonna have true. If I just had like the Stirrup Guy here, he could tell us, and I can't get in trouble for that. It's him, not me. But yeah, I mean, people. I don't want people scared of us. I want people knowing that it's going to be ridiculous. And then two, the amount of players that have personally emailed me saying they want to be a sock puppet. Now, granted, I don't know if they're doing this with every league. I would hope not, but it's crazy. Like, people want to be a sock puppet. It's crazy. The amount of emails I've gotten from players saying that they want specifically to be a sock puppet is outstanding. Like, I didn't want to be a sock puppet at first, and honestly, I'm ashamed of it. It's like, shoot, like, how could I be this like short-sighted and not, thinking how awesome of a brand this could be? Meanwhile, all these players are flooding my inbox of saying, hey, this is what I want to do.
Would you be able to tell us other names that were considered before you picked the sock puppets? Was there anything close that people were kind of teetering on?
We had over 1,200 suggestions from the community, and there were some really solid names, but no, there wasn't anything that we wanted other than sock puppets. Like, sock puppets was it.
So when it comes to uniform, is it going to be cool guy socks or stirrups?
Stirrups. I mean, how can we have?
Thank you.
How can we have a stirrup guy in our logo and not have a stirrup sock? Like, that would be so disingenuous and disheartening for everybody.
One of my big complaints about Major League Baseball now is that the Oakland A's don't have the stirrups with the yellow socks anymore, which was just so unique. Now everybody's got like the Babe Ruth kind of socks, and I mean, it's just not the same.
No, I think stirrups are making a huge comeback too. I mean, you look at all the little leagues; everybody wants to wear stirrups. It's the cool thing to do now, and I love it. Actually, one of my favorite things about this brand is we still have a handful of major national sock companies in Burlington, North Carolina, and one of them, who's a huge partner of ours now, Wilson Brown Socks, Brown Dog Hosiery, is going to make our stirrups. So all of all of the stirrups that our players are going to be wearing will be made here in Burlington, North Carolina. I think that's really freaking cool.
Yeah, that's that. Well, the hosiery capital of the South, right? Is that the nickname?
Exactly. That's right.
So yeah, it makes perfect sense. So I guess you got the logo. How about merchandise? How many states have made orders for sock puppets gear?
Every single state in 2 countries.
Okay, I had a feeling you'd say that. So
Yep.
every single state.
Every single state, and I couldn't believe it. We were so overwhelmed. We didn't get truly caught up on merchandise until the middle of March, and we launched February 1st. Like, we were consistently backed up, and it's a good problem to have. Obviously, it's a problem still, but it was a great problem to have. And everybody, I can't thank all of the people who are supporting us, who bought merchandise, who were showing their support on the internet. I can't thank them enough, because I mean, shoot, some people were waiting a long time to get just a simple hat. But I mean, we have a great fan base. We have a great following on social media, and I can't thank them enough for just showing us the tremendous support that they have for these first 2.5 months.
And then have jerseys been released yet, or is that something coming up?
Something coming up.
Okay.
They're
Just want to make sure.
Very soon. Yep.
Just wanted to make sure. I'm sure I'll see it on Chris Kramer's site or Paul Lucas's site. So
yeah, well, hopefully we see it on your guys' site.
Well, yeah. Send me the information.
That's right. We will.
I'll write it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've done a little bit of research here. You basically have sort of outlined this league as being a lot of players who most people aren't going to know, and it's not necessarily about the players, it's about the full experience. But I did see that you do have one big recognizable name as your manager, and that's Jack McDowell.
That's right.
How does having Jack McDowell help with the marketing, or does it help?
No, it definitely helps. I think it gives so much. What's the word I'm looking for? Trust, I guess, in the sense that this league's legit. I mean, that guy's a 93 Cy Young Award winner, and he probably could have won the Cy Young in 91 and 92. Like, this guy is a legit baseball human being, and he's our manager. Like, these guys are going to be getting the best of the best experience from a former All-Star and 3-time All-Star, 1-time Cy Young Award winner. And better yet, I mean, Jack's just a good guy. He is funny. He's down to earth. And to give you guys, I will break this news. Our walkout song he created specifically for us. He texted me on Sunday night and said, hey, I created and produced this insanely crazy walkout song themed for the sock puppets. Do you want to play it as the teams walk out when we take the field at home? And I said, absolutely. And it's
I
original.
remember him being a guitar player, musician during his playing days. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a musician. He was a musician back in the day, still is. And yeah, he produced this song, created it from absolute scratch, and it's going to be our walkout song now.
Wow, I can hardly wait. Well, you'll have to send me that when that time
100%.
comes. I don't know when I'll be at a game next, but walkout song. I don't think is that something normal in with baseball teams with walkout
So
songs?
a lot of teams when they're at home,
When they're at home.
when the team after the national anthem, when the team takes the field, there's typically a pump up song or some song that either they can request or whatever. But this will be our specific song.
But nothing original. I think the Lansing Lugnuts have their own song from what I remember last year.
I say maybe there's a handful of teams that have an original song, but
okay, Blue Jays, but that's not a walk up song, is it?
No, that's a seventh inning stretch.
That's a seventh inning.
The Paw Sox had one for a couple years, but it was like an old timey one that was horrible. It was just horrible.
You talking about Sweet Caroline?
No. I'm thinking Sweet Caroline too, but
I just want to call Sweet Caroline terrible and see how you reacted, and you didn't react as aggressive as I thought.
They've been playing it since what 90 something. It's time to retire it.
Yeah, especially when you hear it everywhere.
No shot. Sweet Caroline, you can't take that out. Especially on a thirsty Thursday. You play Sweet Caroline and you pause that song and you just hear the fans just carry on. Oh, there's nothing better.
Oh, there's a lot of things better in my opinion, but that's me. Except when they tried to 75-year-old Neil Diamond out to sing it one day. That was awesome. But you got to keep things fresh. And man, you guys are keeping things fresh right now. And I was just thinking that it's the rebranding and like the attitude has gone even like to your online accounts. The Twitter feud you guys are having with the Danville, the Otterbots, has just been fun to watch too.
It's just it's cute. It's cute to me that they can be the new guys in the league and they think they have all this power. I mean, we have 10 times their followers. We're so much more established. We have such a better brand, and they come in here thinking that they can compete with us. It's cute. It's like when you have a little sibling, a little sibling that wants to be as cool as the big bro. I mean, you can try, and it's adorable when you try, but come on.
Yeah, because I did say the Otterbots. I love the logo. You guys, your logo screams baseball. And as I was about to say earlier, Alexander Fish, who I had interviewed for an article, he created the Ottawa Titans logo. He said, when it comes to baseball, you have to make it kid friendly. I think that's what you did. Their logo looks like a villain from the Transformer cartoons from the 1980s. It's great, though. I love their logo. I think it's just something so beyond what baseball is at the moment. But I just love the fact that we're talking about Appalachian League baseball and all their great logos. Is there a rivalry with any other teams, or are the Otterbots your main rival?
I mean, I wouldn't consider the Otterbots even a rival. It's just like
the Twitter
when we're just so much better than them. Yeah. Like how like they probably consider us a rivalry, but when we're just so much better than them, like is it truly rivalry? I mean that's neither here nor there. But no, I mean we love all 10 teams. Sorry, all the other 8 teams are great.
Yes,
great teams, well run organizations, and this league's gonna be so much fun. I mean, the fact that for over a century, this league has had nothing but a name that is after a different community, and now we all finally have something that embraces where we truly call home is special. I think that's really, really cool. And I'm really excited to see it come to fruition and have these jerseys being worn at our ballpark and wearing our sock puppets jersey out at out in Bluefield and Princeton and all these in Bristol and all these random communities. So I'm pumped. It's going to be such a great year for everybody except Danville. I just can't wait to get started.
Now we have the Mercer Cup. Are we going to have a sort of traveling trophy between you and Danville, because it's about 43 miles separate you guys, right?
Yeah, it's about a 50 minute drive to Danville, and I mean we would ask Danville to pay for it, but I mean I don't know why they would pay for something that's always going to be at Burlington Athletic Stadium. But if they wanted to create a cup with us, then all power to them. But they should know that it'll be living rent free here in Burlington Athletic Stadium.
You took their stadium. Right, so you can take their cup.
That was going to be my next question, because your home stadium's got a lot of history.
A lot of history.
To our listeners who may not be familiar with the story of Burlington Athletic Stadium, little bit
Yeah,
about that?
so like all good things, they leave Danville and they come to Burlington. So our stadium was originally conceived in Danville, Virginia, and was disassembled, put on a train, and brought down to Burlington, North Carolina, and reconstructed in, I want to say, 1964. Might have been.
It was 1960, and then 61, I believe, was 1960 was the first season.
So 19.
I wrote an article about it. That's why I'm kind of excited to talk about
Yeah,
this.
so 19, yeah, and then it was reconstructed here, and so when you come here, like that's what you see, like the nuts and the bolts of the main grandstands is a stadium that was in Danville, and it's the only stadium that I know of. I mean, Mark, you might have a better idea. I think that's the only stadium that's been transported from one community to another.
I know that the original Colts 45 stadium was disassembled and placed somewhere in Mexico.
But it's the only one in use.
The only one in use. You're right. That's not something that normally happens.
Yeah.
And I think at the time it was the Danville Leafs, and they were a San Francisco Giant team, and they moved them out to the West Coast. And I think the Dan Mills River Company owned it, and Burlington didn't have a stadium, and they said, "Hey, let's offer to buy it." I think they got a really good deal on it.
Yeah,
what I remember. But
and then fast forward 25 years, we were one of the only stadiums to be in one of the most popular baseball movies of all time in Bull Durham. We're one of the stadiums that are featured in a handful of scenes.
It's a classic Bull Durham stadium. You're right.
It's awesome. I mean, there's so much history when you, and honestly, I love that about minor league baseball. Like, there's some really nice parks with some great amenities. And if you want to go to those, great, awesome. Enjoy the AC. But if you want to enjoy baseball at its finest and at its purest, you got to come to one of these old ball. I came from Daytona Tortugas with the Daytona Tortugas, who played at historic Jackie Robinson ballpark. I mean, that's where history is made. And you go to these ballparks and you're watching a baseball game like they would have, decades ago, centuries ago. I think that's really special. I think that's cool.
Yeah, even the 1980s, early 90s, when I was a kid, you still had a lot of those stadiums around it. I've lived through that transformation.
Yep.
I remember going to Trenton, New Jersey, and saying, "Wow, what did they do here?" I remember seeing Lakewood, New Jersey, and Somerset, and you saw the stadiums get bigger, better, wider, fancier. It wasn't Bush League anymore. These were very well done stadiums. Getting back to your ballpark, it costs $5,000 to dismantle it, $1,500 to move it, and then another $5,000 to build it back again at Fairchild Park, which I guess was the original name.
What year was this
stadium? This would have been 1960. This was between the end of the 58 season and 1960. So 1960 it opened up for baseball. May 4th.
More importantly, it's the only Appalachian League park that I've been to, so it's got that going for it too.
Here we go. Well, hopefully it's the only Appalachian, or I don't want to say only, hopefully it's one of the 9 Appalachian League ballparks you visit this summer.
9.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's go ahead.
I thought you might. And since we are Stadium Journey here, we always put our guests on the spot and let them talk about some of their favorite places to catch games.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier, I love Daytona's ballpark. I worked there for 3 years, and the history of that is the birthplace of integrated baseball is something I get chills just thinking about. I just get chills like walking into that ballpark, and I worked there for 3 years. It's really cool. I think sometimes people can take it for granted, and sometimes people don't know, but it's a really cool story, and that ballpark will always hold a special place in my heart. I'm actually a huge fan of the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium. I grew up going to a bunch of the Devil Rays games in St. Petersburg, and if we're talking major leagues, and as crappy reviews as that stadium gets, it holds a special place in my heart. I love the Devil Ray or the Manta Ray thing in the outfield, and I just love the ballpark. But from an overall stadium perspective, I mean, shoot, I can rattle off a whole bunch of stadiums, but nothing will beat Daytona and except Burlington Athletic Stadium, and that's just not me being biased. Burlington is where I got my start in minor league baseball. It's where I had my first ever internship. This ballpark is intimate. I was meeting with the season ticket holder a couple months ago, and I asked him what his favorite part of the ballpark was, and he said, "I love the fact that I can yell up to the press box and tell him to change the song if it's a song he didn't like." And I don't think you can get that anywhere else, and the fact that we listen and the fact that you can do that, I think is really cool. It's intimate, and there's just not a better place to catch a ball game.
All right, so it sounds like we all need to make a trip down to Burlington at some point this summer.
Yeah,
I know a guy that can hook you up.
I got connections. Yeah, we got connections.
So I guess that's makes a logical point for us to wrap it up. And so we want to thank you for coming on board. Do you want to let our listeners know where they can get some information about the sock puppets or follow you guys online? You've got a great social media team doing a lot of stuff down there. It's a fun follow.
Thank you. Well, yeah, we appreciate it. We want it to be fun. We want you guys to interact with us. We want to be engaging. But yeah, at Go Sock Puppets at everything, www.gosockpuppets.com. And that's it. I mean, we try to make it easy. It's not hard to find us. Just type in who the heck would name a baseball team the Sock Puppets, and you'll find us. So there we are.
Does that really come up if you search that?
I don't know, but I felt like it felt cool. It felt cool to say.
Yeah. All right. Best of luck this season, Anderson. And once again, thanks for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me, guys. Anytime.
All right. Thanks once again to Anderson Rathbun for joining us tonight. That was a lot of fun for me. I don't know about you guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. So, Mark, where can our listeners follow you online?
Ballpark Hunter on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Type those words in, and you'll be surprised and entertained. And
Dave, how about you? Where can our listeners follow you online?
At ProFan9 on Twitter, and also check out our regular Stadium Journey podcast and Obstructive Views on YouTube.
Got a couple good ones coming up. And don't forget to check out our website. Hey, actually, you can follow my Stadium Journeys. I'm Paul Baker on Twitter or Instagram, and I have a YouTube page too. It's got a nice brawl video from the old. What league was that? That was the Can-Am League. The North Shore Navigators and the Quebec Capitals had a nice brawl, and I actually happened to be there and anticipated and recorded it. It's the only really good video I have on my channel, but if you want to check it out, go to Puckman RI. And don't forget to check out our website, stadiumjourney.com. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. We are at Stadium Journey. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook too. And you can find the Stadium Journey podcast at vocnation.com or search VOC Nation Radio Network on your podcast app. And we are also on Spotify. And we simulcast live every other Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern at twitch.tv/danlaw83. And our next Tuesday night show, depending on when you see this, will be April 27th. It's going to be a really good one because we will be joined by Mike Nutter and Mike Limmer from the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. They've always been great to us at Stadium Journey. We're looking forward to having them on the show. So until next time, won't you take me to Monkey Town? We'll see you next week.